Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday afternoon tea and chat from Melksham Library. It's 3 o'clock on the 8th of September and I've got a number of poems I've selected for today's session to share with you. I hope you've all got your cup of tea or a nice coffee or something that you can be drinking whilst you're listening to me read it. I've got my nice coffee here. Quick drink, and maybe you're going to treat yourself to a cake this afternoon. Today I've decided I don't normally share cakes. Basil tends to be the one who shares cakes. I've got a yummy Eccles cake here, so I occasionally treat myself to an Eccles cake, and they're particularly yummy. So there you go. That's my choice of cake for today. The poems I'm going to share with you today are on a theme of music and singing. I did get a request from Jess, our stock manager. She suggested the first one this morning to sing with you this afternoon. And it's called Everyone Sang. And following from that, I thought actually I'm going to make the whole theme music and singing. I love music. I love singing. Do a lot of singing. But this one I'm going to show you is called Everyone Sang, and this poem is by Siegfried Sassoon, who was one of the World War I war poets. So here we go with Everyone Sang. Everyone suddenly burst out singing, and I was filled with such delight, as prisoned birds must find in freedom, winging wildly across the white orchards and dark green fields, on, and out of sight. Everyone's voice was suddenly lifted, and beauty came like the setting sun. My heart was shaken with tears, and horror drifted away. Oh, but everyone was a bird, and the song was wordless. The singing will never be done. And that's a short one by Siegfried Sassoon, Everyone Sang. And this poem was first published in 1919, so it was the year following the end of the First World War. And of course, the jubilant singing that features in this poem is usually interpreted as a reference to the armistice of 1918. Everyone just celebrating that the peace treaty was signed. So moving on, my next choice today is by a poet who I'm not familiar with. It's an African-American writer and poet born in the late 1800s, and he's called William Stanley Braithwaite, and he's done this nice short piece again, another short poem called On Music. And I'll see how you make, what do you make of this one? Okay. I cannot tell how high my soul takes wing, nor to what depths in liquid sweet it sinks. Yet well I know it suffers from thy sting, as one who of Cicean mixture drinks. And I can feel a rose stream through me creep, curving about my senses as they leap, and swell and rise and fall as blossoms ambrosial shook from some full-blown orange tree in spring, sink wavering to the ground and bound unto the zephyr's piping in dizzy, dizzy ring. To me, that speaks of like the highs and lows that music can take you. And music, I mean, it's such an emotive medium, isn't it? I mean, you know, you can have music that just fills you with ecstasy and joy, but then also music can bring you to tears of sadness. I can remember an old friend many years ago listening to I think it was Gorecki's Third Symphony. It was a Polish composer. It's wonderful symphony he did, his first symphony. And I can remember my boyfriend at the time, who was normally very unemotional, and he was just listening to it and watching it. It was used as a documentary about some of the war camps in World War II, and he was absolutely streaming because the music alongside this awful documentary about the Holocaust was incredibly, just so powerful. And I think that's what I say, this poem On Music by William Stanley Braithwaite really describes that kind of feeling, the highs and lows that music can take you to. One of the words in he uses the line as one who of Cycean mixture drinks, and I did think, well, what does Cycean mean? And Cycean, spelt Cyceon. So it's actually was a drink made with barley grits and grated goat's cheese and wine. I think it's a Greek drink. Not sure whether I fancy that, but anyway, each to their own. So there you go. So that's on music. Now, the third poem I'm going to share with you today combines two of my greatest loves. As I said, I love music, but I also love nature, and in particular, I do love trees. I'm a bit of a secret tree-hugging hippie. And this poem is by Charles A. Heath, and it's called The Music of the Trees. Charles A. Heath was a British printer and writer, and apparently he was twice elected Mayor of Monmouth. And this is his poem, The Music of the Trees. Before I start reading, hello, yeah, thank you, Basil, yummy, yes, is that yummy? I suppose you're referring to my my Eccles cake, so yes, indeed, they are very yummy. So hi, Basil, glad you can join me this morning. If anyone else has got any comments they want to share with what they're eating or what they're drinking, or if any of your favourite poems, that'd be great. Anyway, here we go. This is The Music of the Trees, and just maybe imagine yourself out in a nice a woodland glen or a forest somewhere. Your choice of season, it could be autumnal like it is now, or maybe you want to think back to a woodland in springtime. I'll leave that to you. Okay. How I love to hear the rustle of the leaves upon the trees, when the foliage of summer is a moving in the breeze, when the oak and beech and maple are a turning up the air, as they hear the quaking aspen sending signals everywhere. The deciduous forest people are a music making band, with their symphonies so simple that a child can understand, for there's meaning in their rhythm and a pleasures mong the trees, when the wind is blowing through them and stirring all the leaves. There's an overture in whispers which is soothing to the ear. Then a chorus full of comfort, just to chasing out your fear, as the louder it is sounding, and the louder yet again, till at last our joys are bounding when it falls in sweet refrain. Yes, it brings you heaps of solace when the wind is blowing soft, in a lullaby of nature which will bear you way aloft, till you leave this world of trouble with its fretting and its care, as you listen to the rustle of the leaves a playing there. Oh, I love to stop and hearken to the music of the trees, as the wind is soughing through them or a playing with the leaves. There's a harmony that holds you in the noises of the wood, where I never tire of listening, for it does a fellow good. Makes me want to go for a woodland walk right now. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, it combines the music and the tree, and yeah, I love walking through trees. It does mention it being a foliage of summer, but as I say, I'm sure you know it's lovely walking through woods any time of year. I'm just thinking it's that time of year. I'm thinking maybe I'll go to Westonbirt. I think that's going to be beautiful at this time of year, and or alternatively maybe Stourhead. Let me know what your favourite woodland is. Moving on now, I'm moving on. So this next song is by one of the Romantic poets. So we're going to revisit something else by William Wordsworth. We've had a few of Wordsworth's poems over the last few months. And this was one he wrote, and it's about someone who can hear someone singing, and it's called The Solitary Reaper, or sometimes known as just The Reaper. So I'm going to be reading from this book here, which is a collection of so many poets and poems, The Golden Treasury, from Shakespeare to the present. But this is The Reaper, also known as The Solitary Reaper, and it's by William Wordsworth. Behold her, single in the field, you solitary Highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling ne'er was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the furthest Hebrides. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far-off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humbly lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again? Whatever the theme, the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work, and oh, the sickle bending. I listened, motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. That was The Reaper by William Wordsworth. Yeah, it's just a lovely one, isn't it? Someone's come across someone working and singing as they work. And obviously had a big effect on them. I do love some of the poems of Wordsworth. It's like the one where he's seen the whole he comes across as when he's walking all the daffodils. So a lot of his poems seem to be about when he's just walking and suddenly, oh, there's some daffodils, or there's a reaper singing. Anyway, okay, moving on. So that was the sort of reaper, and I'm going to do another one now. I think I'm actually coming to the end of my selection. It's a shorter selection today, and this is one by Annette Wynne, and she was an American poet specialising in children's poetry. So this is quite a fun one to finish off with today. So yes, as I say, she specialises in children's poetry, but I really love this. It's called The Song Shop, and it's just really quite uplifting. It's kind of it's about, you know, if you think about someone making, like a blacksmith who's making, you know, things out of metal, but this is the songsmith, and it's all about someone who's sitting there making songs. Anyway, I'll let you see what you think of this. I think it's really pretty. The Song Shop by Annette Wynne. Tink, 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 hear the pretty pieces clink. How the busy worker sings as his tiny hammer rings. Little songs are fashioned so, placed all sweetly in a row. Stars and coloured bits of glass, look in, children, as you pass. See the songsmith's happy things, bells and laughs and fairy wings. Silver dreams and dreams of gold. Songsmith, are you really old? Pretty, making songs all day. Are you really old and grey? Tink, tink, tink. We can hear the chink. Pretty songs are fashioned so, placed all sweetly in a row. See the songsmith's happy things, bells and laughs and fairy wings. Stars and all assorted things. It's a really sweet poem by Annette Wynne. It's really pretty, and I thought I wanted to finish on that one. So it's a slightly shorter tea and chat for me today. Do message me or write a comment. Let us know if there's any favourite poems that you'd like to share with you next time. We've got another tea and chat will be coming up in 2 weeks' time. I believe it is with Basil. Let me just check. Is it with Basil or is it with Phil? Oh no, beg your pardon, it's with Phil from Salisbury. So that's in 2 weeks' time. And then 2 weeks after that, I think it's going to be Basil from Cambridge. So yeah, do message if any favourite poems. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Do message and comment if there was one that you particularly liked. And yeah, take care. Enjoy the rest of your tea or coffee if you've still got some left. I'm going to enjoy my Eccles cake now. And thank you for joining me, and see you again soon. Bye.